Story 1, The Instagram Girl. It was a normal Thursday night. 19-year-old Ethan was lying on his bed scrolling through Instagram after finishing his college assignments. Nothing exciting ever happened on his account. He had a few hundred followers. Mostly friends, classmates, and relatives. As he continued scrolling through his feed, a notification suddenly appeared. Emma Carter started following you. Normally Ethan wouldn't care. But something about the profile caught his attention. The girl in the profile picture was beautiful. Blonde hair. Bright smile. And thousands of followers. Curious, Ethan opened her profile. Everything looked real. There were dozens of photos. Pictures with friends. Pictures at restaurants. Pictures at the beach. The comments looked genuine. Nothing seemed suspicious. Before Ethan could even follow her back, another notification appeared. A message. Hey. I know this sounds random, but I think you're really cute. Ethan stared at the screen. He couldn't believe it. Girls like this never messaged him first. Still, he replied. Thanks. I think you're pretty cute too. What started as a simple conversation quickly turned into hours of chatting. They talked about music. Movies. Fitness. School. Future plans. Everything felt natural. Everything felt real. The next day, Emma suggested meeting in person. Ethan was nervous but excited. They agreed to meet at a local bar called Lucky's. Friday evening arrived. Ethan spent extra time getting ready. He wanted to make a good impression. After all, this was the first time a girl had ever asked him out through Instagram. He arrived at the parking lot and waited. Minutes passed. Then his phone buzzed. It was Emma. But instead of saying she had arrived, the message read. My car broke down. Can you help me? Ethan frowned. He immediately called her. No answer. A second later another message arrived. It contained an address. A lonely road several miles outside town. Ethan hesitated. Something felt strange. But after checking her profile again, everything still seemed real. So he started driving. The farther he drove, the quieter the roads became. Streetlights disappeared. Traffic vanished. Soon he found himself surrounded by thick woods. Finally, he reached the location. A black car sat on the side of the road. Its hood was open. Exactly as Emma described. Ethan parked nearby and stepped out. The air felt strangely cold. He looked around. No sign of Emma. He walked toward the vehicle. The windows were completely tinted black. He couldn't see inside. He knocked gently. No answer. He checked under the hood. Nothing seemed obviously broken. Confused, Ethan texted Emma. Where are you? No reply. As he turned to walk back to his car, something made him stop. One of the windows was now slightly open. He was certain it had been closed seconds earlier. Slowly, he stepped closer. Then a hand emerged from the darkness. Not a woman's hand. A man's hand. The finger slowly motioned for him to come closer. Ethan's stomach dropped. Every instinct told him to run. Without saying another word, he sprinted back to his car. The moment he slammed the door shut, the black car started. Its engine roared to life. Ethan immediately drove away. At first he thought he was safe. Then he checked his rearview mirror. The black car was following him. Its headlights remained off. Yet it stayed directly behind him. Every turn he made. It copied. Every road he entered. It followed. For nearly 10 terrifying minutes, the chase continued. Ethan's hands shook on the steering wheel. His heart pounded in his chest. Finally, he spotted a brightly lit gas station. He pulled into the parking lot. The black car immediately turned around and disappeared into the darkness. When Ethan arrived home, he opened Instagram. Emma's profile was gone. Deleted. Vanished without a trace. The next day he discovered the horrifying truth. The real Emma Carter existed. But her account had been hacked weeks earlier. Several other young men had received identical messages. Nobody knew who was behind the fake account. Nobody knew what would have happened if Ethan had walked closer to that car. But Ethan knew one thing. He had come dangerously close to becoming the next victim. Story 2, The Secret Instagram Stalker. Jessica had always loved Instagram. Like most teenagers, she posted photos of her daily life. Pictures with friends. Family gatherings. Beach trips. Coffee shops. Nothing unusual. Nothing dangerous. At least that's what she thought. Then strange things started happening. It began with a sound. A faint scratching noise against her bedroom window. The first time she heard it, she ignored it. Maybe it was a tree branch. Maybe it was an insect. The second time, she thought it was the wind. The third time, she started feeling uncomfortable. The sound always came late at night. Usually after midnight. Just one scrape. One tap. Then silence. Jessica mentioned it to her father. He laughed. It's probably nothing. She tried to believe him. But deep down, she felt something wasn't right. Over the next few weeks, the sounds continued. Sometimes twice a week. Sometimes 3 times. Always the same. A scratch. A tap. Then silence. One evening Jessica was doing homework in her bedroom. Her phone suddenly vibrated. A message appeared from an old classmate. Someone she hadn't spoken to in months. The message said, "Hey, I don't know if you've seen this, but I think you should." Below the message was a link. Jessica clicked it. The page that opened made her blood run cold. It was an Instagram account. The profile picture was her face. At first she thought it was a fake fan account. Then she looked closer. Every single photo on the page was a picture of her. Not photos she had posted. Not screenshots from her account. Secret photographs. Photographs she never knew existed. Jessica's hand started shaking. She scrolled further. Pictures of her walking through a parking lot. Pictures of her sitting in her car. Pictures of her at the beach. Pictures of her eating lunch. Pictures taken from far away. Someone had been secretly photographing her. But then it became worse. Much worse. The most recent photos showed the inside of her bedroom. Jessica felt sick. One picture showed her sitting on her bed texting. Another showed her doing homework. Another showed her changing clothes. Every photograph had clearly been taken from outside her bedroom window. Jessica could barely breathe. Her eyes filled with tears. Then she looked at the captions. "The love of my life. She looks beautiful tonight. I like watching her." The comments were even worse. Some strangers encouraged the stalker. Others wrote disturbing messages. Jessica immediately wanted to throw her phone across the room. She felt violated. Terrified. Trapped. Then suddenly. She heard it again. Tap. A faint scrape against the glass. Jessica froze. The same sound she had been hearing for weeks. And suddenly everything made sense. Someone wasn't just stalking her online. Someone was physically outside her house. Watching her. Every night. She screamed. Louder than she ever had before. Her father rushed into the room. Jessica could barely speak. Through tears she handed him the phone. As her father scrolled through the Instagram account, his expression changed. Confusion. Shock. Then anger. Pure anger. He immediately ran outside. Searching around the property. Looking behind bushes. Checking the backyard. But whoever had been watching Jessica was already gone. Minutes later, the police arrived. Jessica showed them the account. Officers took screenshots and filed reports. Instagram was contacted. The account was eventually removed. Investigators attempted to trace it. For a brief moment, they thought they had a lead. The account activity pointed to an old device connected through public Wi-Fi. But the trail ended there. The person behind the account was never identified. Days passed. Then weeks. The scratching sound stopped. No new photographs appeared online. No new accounts surfaced. Life slowly returned to normal. But Jessica was never the same. She stopped posting personal photos. She kept her Instagram private. She always checked over her shoulder when walking alone. And every night before going to sleep, she made sure her curtains were completely closed. Because even though the account disappeared, she could never forget one terrifying fact. 4 weeks. Maybe months. A complete stranger had been standing outside her window. Watching. Waiting. And taking photographs. Somewhere out there. That person was still free. And Jessica still wonders. Was he ever really gone? Or was he simply watching from somewhere else? Subscribe to Noxvale Stories for more dark mysteries, suspense stories, and chilling tales. Because sometimes, the scariest followers are the ones you never see.